Peace. What's good, family? That's right, you see it. Got the West Coast legend in the house. That's right, tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you click the like button upon entering. Click that like button right now. If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. We got another great one tonight. Shout out all my regulars in the house. Let's go. YouTube family. Turn the AC up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Somebody said, what's today's mathematics? Wisdom, equality, all being born to power refinement. That's today's math, Solly. Speak your wise words, make your understanding understood. And you were born power, which is truth. And refine those that come in contact with your power. Peace to the gods and earth. Okay, people, what it do? You see the title. I got my brother here. We about to bring him on. Okay, Alabama in the check-in. I see you. That's right. Peace, God. Peace, God. Yeah, man, this is a West Coast legend right here, man. Man, he was the front man of one of my favorite West Coast groups from that era. I don't think he knows that. He knows it now. Yeah, I was a big fucking Compton's Most Wanted fan. I got some stories too. I got a funny story I'm going to share with the God. He said the intro music sounds spooky. Okay. Yeah. I got a lot of stories, man, and one funny one that I'm going to share. But yeah, this brother, man, I've been following his career for a while. A lot of y'all know him from, you know, if not just from his music, from C.M.W, but from the Menace to Society movie. Oh, where he put his thug thizzle down for the whole world to see. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even, with no further ado, I just want to bring him on right about this now. Give a round of applause, a Godcast welcome to my brother MC Eiht.
What's cracking, fam?
What's cracking, King?
Everything's good, man.
How you be?
Man, I'll be good, man. I can't complain.
You looking great, brother. You looking great.
Man, I'm trying to stay young and healthy and, do what I got to do to survive in this crookedness. You feel me?
Yeah, you looking kind of swole up top, like you've been working out.
I go to the gym a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Try to get my health in, my
You
buff
look like
on
you
and
go
stuff.
more than a little bit. You go.
Yeah, I go more than the average Joe. You feel me? There you go.
Good. Let's clap that up because we love health and wealth on this channel right here. How long have you been working out for?
Honestly, about 4 years.
Okay. And what made you start working out? Are you the type that you were living such a reckless life and, just doing this and that finally you said, you know what, let me get my shit together? Or, not so much. And you just said, you know what, I just got into it.
With staying on the road and still traveling and going overseas and doing all that. Then I started coaching football, with the kids.
Ah, nice.
And just trying to maintain that and knowing dudes who was going to the gym and on that tip, they finally convinced me, to get into the gym. And I tried it for a week and took a pause for about a month. And then I went back one day and then the bug hit me, man. I just started going every day and then twice a day. And then every time I had free time, I was in the gym. So that's how it started.
Because didn't you come up pretty much as like a smaller type of dude, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I was. I was
Right.
a smaller type of dude. I probably didn't weigh but about 140 pounds, because I wasn't into, the health and the weightlifting and all that. That was something that was over my head at the time, and health and being a young dude that just ran. Um, it never sparked my interest, so to speak. But getting older and wanting to be able to maintain and be around and, trying to deal with that sort of shit, I just felt like, hey, let me try out, and like I said, it became a force of habit, and I started wanting to do it more and more, and that's just how it became.
Now, especially having a smaller frame, were you discouraged at first? Like, damn, I don't even know if I can get that kind of mass that I might be looking for. And then what do you feel like you did to help you, you know what I mean? Help you bulk up a little bit.
It's a process that it takes. It's gonna take a minute to see results, so to speak. So I knew that. I knew going into the gym, looking at dudes who was 220 pounds in muscle, and maybe trying to reach that aspect. I knew that was a far shot, but I just stuck to the program of what my dude told me, and it was just eat,
Right.
just eat, just eat. You get me? And I was a person who, like most of us who in our career early, traveling and promo touring and doing that, you know how that lifestyle was, you hitting fast food restaurants and in and out of hotels and on to the next flight and on to the next city. And so I never was one to eat 5 and 6 meals a day. You get me?
Right.
And I'm the type of dude who ate once. Give me some coffee. I'm gonna eat once in the afternoon, and we finna push all day.
Right.
So it was hard to pick up that habit. But once I started doing that, eating 5 times a day and going to the gym twice a day and staying on that regimen, the results started coming.
And how much do you weigh now? How much did you gain in like muscle mass?
I gained about 50 pounds in muscle mass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I went from about $140 to I'm about $190 now.
Wow. Very impressive. Very impressive. All right. So, well, hang on. Matter of fact, let me share this with the people because this is old school fucking. This is old school MC Eiht, old school Lord Jamar, old school. A lot of us. Check this flick out. Did you see this flick before right here?
I saw that flick yesterday,
a couple days ago.
Yes, indeed. That's a real infamous right there, man.
I'm not even sure. Do you know where this is at?
I have no idea where that's at.
Now look at a thin MC Eiht, a very stealth Lord Jamar. Everybody looking thin. Actually, look at fucking
my man Fife.
Oh, look at fucking Be Real. Look at man, Finn and fucking Muggs. Everybody.
Wow. Yep, definitely.
Nikki,
who knows where that flick was? It had to be on the East Coast somewhere at the time.
My guess is it was one of those you know how they had those Jack the Rapper type
Exactly.
CMJ type of, it probably was some CMJ maybe in New York, some shit like that.
Okay,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
we did move around a lot back then.
Yeah, but damn, that's like early. Damn, I had the young dreads with the fucking lamb chops. Shit is crazy. Q-tip. Wow, that's a classic flick right there. So
Yes, indeed.
let's let's take it back. Wait, how do I get out of that? Okay, yeah, stop that. There we go. Um, oh, you got it on your phone. Okay, could you maybe turn your phone? There you go. There you go. Boom. All right. So let's get into it. MC Eiht, born and raised Compton, California. Yes.
Yep.
Um, tell me about, well, first of all, if you don't mind, how old are you? I'm 50. I'm about to be 53.
I just turned 50.
Okay, cool. So tell me about the age. We're about the same, you know, the same age. Tell me about the era coming up in Compton, California, basically in the 70s. You was a child in the 70s.
Right.
Um, tell me about, you know, what it was like coming up in Compton at that time. Tell me about when you first started getting introduced to hip hop. And then ultimately, when did you start saying, you know what, this is some shit that I could do and I'm gonna start fucking with it? You know what I mean? In some kind of way, write my little raps or whatever the case may be.
You know, like you said, I came up in the 70s. A lot of soul music and you know, uh, family functions and adult parties and that's basically that's what life was to me. Typical kid. Um, Mom's had a decent job. Pops worked for General Motors, so um, it was pretty cool in the beginning. My parents split. Uh,
Mm.
um, so, growing up in Compton, single moms, sister, um, younger brother, uh, gang infested. You feel me?
You the oldest?
No, I'm the middle kid.
Okay.
So, my sister, she was with the business, um, which made me get with the business.
Wait, she's older than you.
Right.
Okay.
Um, just by her being associated with dudes, knowing dudes who was banged out and coming through, that made me as like a 11, 12-year old kid fascinated with the life.
Right.
Uh, so by the age of, as far as I can remember, and I started gang banging and claiming a set, Tragnew Park. And that's what my life was.
And that's the crip set, yes?
Yeah, that's a Crip set on the west side of Compton. Um, I seen, drive-by killings and, jumping niggas and rolling through enemy territories and, shootouts and what have you. Um, Moms still was a hard worker. Uh, Wanted me to take that path, you get me? Uh, I think dreams falter when you get into reality of where you growing up and the choices you have. Like I said, my father left the home, so all those dreams of a typical kid at 5, 6 year old, I'm gonna be a policeman, I'm gonna be a fireman, all those dreams went out the window
Mm.
because now I was left to the block. You
Mm.
get me?
Right.
Uh, Moms was working, 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning.
Right.
So again, I was left to the block
Right.
and not having no older brother around or father gone, you know, Mom's tried to do what she could, put me in sports, and that had me for a little bit. And then, like I said, once it really started with the gang banging and claiming the set, there was nothing else I saw. All the dreams of that went out the window, and it was just about claiming a hood and selling crack. You feel me? Um, we used to take family trips to Gulfport, Mississippi.
That's where your family's from, Mississippi.
That's where my mom's is from, Gulfport, Mississippi. My father is from Tampa Bay, Florida. So I still had contact with my dad now. He wasn't one of those, just left us high and dry. I still talk to my dad. I still went and visited on the weekends, but I was left to the streets of Compton. You get me? So Mom's did what she could, like I said, but by that time I was already infatuated with the street life. I took a trip to Gulfport, Mississippi one summer, and that's when I was introduced to hip hop.
So wait. So you weren't introduced to hip hop in LA. You got introduced to it in Mississippi?
Yeah. I got introduced to hip because back then when I was a kid, our radio, I didn't listen to. There was K-Day was probably our only black station. And it was so squeaky and fucked up on the weekends, you could barely hear it. So a lot of us we were forced to listen to pop music coming up,
like 40 type of shit.
Exactly.
Right. I remember listening to a lot of top 40 as a little kid.
That's what played in our household, top 40. Unless moms would break out the Millie Jackson or the Bobby Blue Bland or, some shit like that. But as far as radio is concerned, it was just all top 40 shit. So whatever it was at the time, Prince, Michael Jackson, Pat Benatar, Duran Duran, that type of shit. That's all that played on the fucking radio. You get me? It wasn't no motherfucking hip hop. It was top 40. So I took a trip down to motherfucking Mississippi, and I was introduced to Run DMC and Midnight Star. And I heard Freakazoid and I heard Sucker MC. And
that's a funny combination, Run DMC and Midnight Star.
That's what I heard because I didn't hear that type of shit back at home. You get me? So
now when you first heard Sucker MC, what was your reaction? Like, what did you think in your mind? Like,
I was like, holy shit,
right?
Like, what the fuck is that? Like,
like that's some shit right there.
I was intrigued. So as soon as I got home, I ran to the swap meet because, moms would give us money to go buy shoes or clothes for school or whatever. I'm at the motherfucking swap meet buying 12 inches. Grandmaster Flash, Treacherous 3, fucking Sparky D and Roxanne Shante. I'm buying UTFO singles and shit. I'm buying Just Ice singles and shit. Like, I'm like, goddamn, rap shit, you getting in trouble. Because I'm buying these motherfucking, the Boogie Boys and Fly Girl and shit.
Boogie Boys.
I wanted all that shit, man. I'm telling you, I was on all that shit. Fucking all that early shit, man.
That's ill that you say that because, not to cut you off, but your style and all of that, like before we was doing this interview, for some reason, I started saying some Spoonie G type of rhymes. And I thought to myself, you know what? Eiht style is kind of reminiscent of Spoonie G in a way. Like the smoothness of it and it's hard to pinpoint right now exactly what I'm talking about, but you remind me of Spoonie G in a way. Did you ever listen to Spoonie G back in the day?
I listen to all. I grew up on nothing but East Coast rap. We didn't have no rap on the West Coast. We had shit like Bobby Jimmy and the Critters and shit like that. Like, real talk.
That was a rap group?
Yeah. Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. And I call them like, how you got Weird Al Yankovic and he always taking somebody's shit and flipping it, making it That's what Bobby Jimmy and them did. They,
Ah,
they flipped niggas songs and made comical bullshit raps out of it. That was our motherfucking shit.
and
And
that was
then,
just local though. That was you had to be from LA to even hear.
yeah, that was local shit. Like we had LA Dream Team, we had Egyptian Lover, we
Now,
had
Egyptian Lover. We had did a show with Egyptian Lover early,
right.
like in our fucking career. I mean, early. I think we was in North Carolina. First of all, I had never heard of this guy. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of thought it was, the name was kind of weird, and then the music, like, we didn't understand that shit at all. Like, we was like, we wasn't fucking with Egyptian Lover.
Mystified by that type of shit. Well,
Yeah, we didn't even
that was West
understand why
Coast
he was
rap,
on the show type of shit.
right? Egyptian Lover was large on the West Coast at that time when rap music first started breaking. Y'all had motherfuckers like I said, y'all had BDP, y'all had motherfucker my man Pooba with the sexy and shit
Right.
like that,
Yeah.
Masters of Ceremony and shit like that, man.
God
Y'all had
knows
set
how.
the Sonics and shit. Y'all had the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and shit and EPMD. We had Egyptian Lover and LA Dream Team and the Wrecking Crew. We didn't have like real significant hip hop until
NWA.
NWA came on. Now we had underground niggas that was large, which influenced a lot of our music. We had Toddy T.
Like,
We had,
yeah, real quick, who would you say was hard, like, but a precursor to a Run DMC that we didn't necessarily hear of? Because I never heard of who you just said. What's his name?
we had motherfucking we had Toddy T.
Toddy.
And Toddy T and Mixmaster Spade basically were how they got the mixtapes and shit. You go. So Toddy T was from my neighborhood, and they had a crew called the LA Posse. It was Toddy T, Mixmaster Spade, DJ Pooh,
I
and
heard
they basically introduced you to the street rap before Easy broke it. You get me? Now, Todd had a single called Battle Ram, okay? And that's what really
Battle Ram?
Battle Ram.
I know the Battle Ram.
Okay, now that was Toddy T. Toddy T
that was a West Coast dude? Okay, the Battle Ram. Yeah, I know the Battle Ram.
Battle Ram came because they used to basically make mixtapes, TDK tapes, go in the garage, bang, bang, bang. And they used to take all the hits like before the shit was signed to whatever. They used to go around and sell these tapes. They would take all the East Coast hits because, like I said, y'all niggas had it locked. Houdini, everything that came out the East Coast was on fire. So Toddy T made the Battle Ram off of the Rapping Duke. Remember the Rapping Duke?
Yes.
Okay. So he took the instrumental to the Rapping Duke and he made a song called the Battle Ram. And basically it was talking about
played on the East Coast. I heard that in mix shows on the East Coast. That's how I know the Battle Ram. And for those of y'all that don't know what the Battle Ram is, that's what the police use to knock your fucking door down, the motherfucking Battle Ram. But anyway, go ahead.
Back in the 80s, the crack scene was real hot. You get me? So niggas was real heavy with it. So we used to have Daryl Gates was the police chief. Niggas were getting busted. Hoods was getting raided, crack houses, dope houses, and they would use the Battle Ram. So my nigga Todd made a song out of it. He would talk about the mayor and Chief Daryl Gates, and they coming through your hood with the Battle Ram, and the shit was selling like hotcakes. So they started doing all that shit. Like Houdini had the freaks come out at night. They had the clucks come out at night. Where they were talking about serving in the hood and how the clucks would come out at night and they be making their bread, boomty woom. So they did all that type of shit, and that's introduced us to the street shit. Therefore, how Easy came into the picture. Easy came into the picture with Boys in the Hood, and that's what kind of solidified us as, mainstream West Coast rap. So
let me just say, not to cut you off, but let me just say, I feel like that's a tradition that we do as Black people. Let me just explain. Like, so when hip hop started in the East Coast, we were taking we were almost redoing a lot of like it could be from a commercial, it could be the theme song of a TV show. We was taking from shit that already existed and flipping it. You know what I
Right.
mean? We would take not just break beats, but like for instance, a record like Sucker MCs comes from a record called Action. Okay.
Okay.
That was a break beat that people used to use, but Action was a pretty contemporary record at the time. Like Action was pretty new. Like, you know what I mean? It was the lady put it out, and then shortly after that, niggas in hip hop got a hold of it and was scratching it and making new records off of that record. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you look at Jamaican culture, like a lot of Jamaican reggae, early reggae, they used to redo all these fucking songs, like until they got their own fucking their own footing in the door. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like it seems like we're doing this rinse and repeat. We're doing the same thing where when we first getting up on our musical chops, we'll mimic some other shit. You know, even Rappers Delight. Look at Rappers Delight. Like that Good Times beat was new when they put that out. They took that Good Times and flipped it. Kind of the same way you're talking about how Toddy and them used to do with, you know, the East Coast rap shit. You see what I'm saying? So really it was in tradition. It's a tradition of what we do musically until we get our footing. And then once we get our footing, now we out of here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I just found that kind of interesting. But continue. So yeah, they doing that.
So they doing that, and then Easy came along, and then at the time, you know, I was still gang banging, whatever, but the hip hop bug was catching me
Now, how
because
old are you now about this time?
I'm about 16.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, it's catching me, you know, and basically everything I want to do and is like I'm not even with the you know, trying to hang out in the neighborhood and sell drugs or whatever. I run into DJ Slip through chances. I met him, this cat named Lonzo, who basically was the Wrecking Crew.
Right. The guy
I
who
met
wasn't fucking with rap at first, right? In the movie, he was acting
Right.
like
They were doing the Wrecking Crew thing, party music, you know, turn off the lights type of
right.
shit. That's what they forte was. But Lonzo had a big studio at his crib, you know, where all the local dudes, you know, whatever, you know. So I had a chance meeting because I'm riding with some other dudes and me and my boy Chill. We just happened to be in the back seat rolling with some dudes. They finna go have a meeting with Lonzo because they some singers. So they trying to get Lonzo to mess with them on some singing shit. And we just happen to ride with them. And we go in the meeting with them because it's inside the studio. And me and Chill had just got through cutting a demo like just on some bullshit. Like we wasn't even serious with it, but we had cut a
Well, you
demo.
wasn't rhyming before that. Before you cut the demo, you wasn't rhyming at
No,
all.
I wasn't rhyming at all. I
Wow.
wasn't. Let me tell you something. I wasn't rhyming at all, and I was like I said, I was strictly gang banging and selling drugs.
But you
And
was a big fan of it, though.
I was a huge fan of it.
Right.
Like I loved it.
And so you was
Like I
able to
said,
spit other niggas' rhymes, though, right?
I wasn't really like I didn't have that confidence in myself to be no motherfucking rapper.
But what I'm saying is, when you listen to another nigga's record, were you able to rhyme along with it word for
Oh
word?
yeah, word for word. The
And
message,
I think that's
Grandmaster
part of the
Flash,
training
all that shit.
of
I
an
could rap
MC
nigga
too.
shit like it wasn't nothing, but
Right.
I wasn't putting my brain to coming up with shit. I wasn't thinking like, man, all this shit you going through, the experiences and growing up in the hood and what you done
That
seen and all
could be something.
that shit wasn't. I wasn't even thinking about that because to me, my thing was repping the neighborhood, and repping the neighborhood didn't come with no rapping shit. And homies look at you like, what the fuck? You nigga rapping, you nigga, you claim the hood and nigga do that. So That was my thing. I never was like, but I'm getting high one motherfucking night and I started rapping out the top of my head. And my nigga Chill was like, what the fuck? So he was like, nigga, you need to write that shit down. So that from that day on, I grabbed a notebook and I started writing down everything that I was thinking.
Oh wait, hang on. You froze up. Hang on. We'll get you back. The Wi-Fi get crazy sometimes. If you're just joining us, we're talking to MC Eiht, the West Coast legend. His screen just froze up. Might have to. Okay, yeah. He's gonna pop back in. Make sure you click that like button. Everybody, click that like button. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Here we go.
So
There we go.
So man, I started writing, man, and from there, man, I just started trying to come up with raps, talking about the neighborhood, but I didn't know that I was gonna have a chance to, record no shit like that. That was like that was far out of reach. Recording some shit, like really? So, but I just started writing, and like I said, we had a chance to record a demo tape, and we happened to go to Lonzo's, and I played the tape. It happened to be Lonzo there, this cat named Unknown. Unknown had his
Yeah,
own little label too.
DJ, right? Mm-hmm.
Right. Unknown had a label called Techno Hop. So and he had put out music with Ice-T, like Ice-T's first singles, You Don't Quit, Dog in the Wax, 6 in the morning.
In the morning.
All of that was on Techno Hop. Okay.
Copy.
And then we had another cat from Compton named King T. Okay. King T was
King T, that was my guy.
okay.
King T was one of the first people when we went to the West Coast. He would be like one of those West Coast ambassadors. Like he knew what time it was with East Coast hip hop and all of that, and he would just have love. Like when we come over to the West Coast, like, yeah, come on, come fuck with me, type of shit. Like, you know what I mean? That was my guy.
Tila's a good people. So Tila had a lot of stuff out on Techno Hop. A lot of his first stuff, singles, was on Techno Hop. So, and then my man DJ Slip, who produced a lot of my stuff, he was there. So I played the demo tape. They liked it. Slip was working on a compilation, Compton compilation. So they asked me to be on the Compton compilation. Thus, Compton's Most Wanted Career was born. We did a song called Rhymes Too Funky on the Compton compilation. That was like our very first, got to see yourself on the album cover and, cassette tape. And, I thought I had made it by the end, but boy, did I know it. I didn't know shit. But I just felt like I had accomplished something from coming from, the streets and growing up in the hood and gang banging and my parents wanting me to be something other than, get me? Because they didn't believe in that shit, at all.
And you did accomplish something. It's just there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Definitely. It's definitely levels to it, and it's patience, man. Like I said, you come from the era I come from, so you know what it is to get in this game and to try to maintain, because motherfuckers, it's like a roller coaster ride. 1 minute you on top of the world and shit, you might be getting off the ride for a couple of days and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to find that motherfucking edge where you can keep the motherfucking fans satisfied. And then when the labels don't believe in you no more, they want to get rid of you, and you got to restart. So it's levels to this shit to maintain your sanity in this hip hop game.
Facts. Facts. Wait, how do y'all where does MC Ren come in the picture? He kind of did y'all know
My
Ren?
boy Ren, um, my boy Ren, was with Easy and them. They came into the picture early on. Like I said, even before we had a record deal assigned, Easy had Boys in the Hood. Easy dropped Boys in the Hood, and it kind of like blew everybody out the water. Um, you couldn't, there wasn't a car from here to, Timbuktu who wasn't playing Boys in the Hood when it first came out. Um, and then that sort of introduced because Ren was always around Easy. My boy Chill used to live across the street from some of Ren's people. So we used to see Ren all the time. Um, I mean,
And now
in
Chill, that was your original partner, like y'all was MC partners.
Chill was always my partner. You know what I'm saying? Chill's been my partner since the beginning. We knew Ren and them, as far as Easy is concerned. We used to see them. They used to invite us to videos and studio sessions and all that. But
Morgan.
me and Chill started, Compton's Most Wanted. Chill was a beatbox at first. And basically I was, trying to rap. He would beatbox. And then from there, we just decided to form Compton's Most Wanted. And then, me and him started off as the first single. We did Rhymes Too Funky together. Then we did a song called This Is Compton. And then in the transition of that, still trying to be, because like I said, we were both from the same neighborhood. So we were still trying to be affiliated, and it kind of caught
on the backside.
What you say?
Give It Up was the song on the flip side, right?
Give It Up was the song on the flip side of This Is Compton. We had a maxi. This Is Compton, Give It Up, and I Give Up Nothing. And but we were still, like I said, we were still trying to prove, that we were neighborhood affiliated. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of caught up with Chill to where he had to start going to do some time because we still wanted to be street affiliated. I did myself. I didn't stop going to the neighborhood till probably my fourth album.
Well, it says his first time he got locked up, it says for a joyride. And they put in
we was kids, man.
Know what that means.
We was 17 years old, and we were still like, stealing cars, selling drugs, doing all that shit. So, we had to transition out of, wanting to be associated to trying to learn about, establishing a career and being an artist and all that, because it was hard when you grew up in the hood. You looked at it like, shit, I'm just making bread, nigga, but I'm still from the neighborhood and I still go, and that brings problems, and it brings the police, and it brings, unwanted situations, because now you looked upon as this artist and you got to go places, the label wanting to send you places, and they don't understand, like, we still gang banging. So, you send me over here, it might be a problem. And we used to get that a lot.
Yeah, it's funny, and y'all were young. Like I remember doing mad dumb shit when we was young, and we was brand Nubian type of shit. Like I remember me and X riding around in a stolen car that somebody gave us. Like, you know what I mean? And like, we brand Nubian. We could have easily got popped for that.
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? Now we away and fucked up the whole shit. We didn't, but we was just young doing stupid shit. We thought the shit was fun.
We had just came back from the studio. We had just came back from the studio from recording Growing Up in the Hood when Chill went to jail. We had just left the studio, and we get back to the crib, and like you said, we had that stolen whip that somebody gave us, and it was parked. And when we got dropped off from the studio, my nigga Chill was like, I'm finna make a run. And me and my boy was like, man, don't go nowhere right now. It's 3 in the morning.
That
it's
shit,
3 in the morning. It's like,
it's a little too long too.
And my nigga was like, yeah, I'll be right back, female calling. So, it's like, man, we got a call about 4 hours later. My nigga was like, they got me. And we was like, man, so
And I
that
bet
was
you, and I bet you didn't get the pussy neither.
oh no, he got soon he didn't get over there.
This is
Soon as
what I'm
he
telling
left
you.
the block.
This is what I'm telling you.
Soon as he left the block, he got pulled over.
This is what I'm telling you. Because you could at least got, you know what I mean?
Exactly. You could at least got the prize first, but damn,
you got popped. But nope, no good deed goes unpunished. So yeah, that's ill shit. All right, so you young, y'all still like, man, all right, we making records, but we still some block dudes, man. And we basically what you're saying is the block was still more important to you at that time than this music shit that you was doing.
Proving your loyalty to the block was everything. To me, I mean, to us as young niggas growing up in the hood, making the block proud, representing, letting people know where we was from, and what that was everything to us as young dudes. There was nothing else greater.
Do you think you had to do more? That you felt obligated to try to prove yourself even more because you're a rapper slash, you know what I'm saying? You don't want niggas to look at you like.
I mean, that situation, it's kind of.
You want niggas to feel like, yeah, I'm real, just like you are. I'll do the same shit that you'll do, my nigga.
I mean, it didn't have to be proven because, I mean, I do the same thing you do. You feel me? That I've been standing over here. I've been packing heat. I've been getting into it with niggas. I've been serving. I've been representing. There's not nothing that you do. You're gonna be able to do differently. But when you start realizing that you in a different lane, because you are this rap artist, you still want to be able to go to the block and be associated, but your car is looking a little better and your clothes are looking a little better and your pieces are looking a little better, and you start sticking out like a sore thumb. You get me? And there are true dudes, there are true niggas, true homies who they congratulate your success. My nigga, you got off the block, you making records, nigga, you in movies, you moved out, nigga, you got a nice crib and all that shit. Why do you keep coming around here? Like, because in a minute, the jealousy is gonna really take over. Now, it don't matter that you've been affiliated and you are part of the hood, and you just 5 years ago, you was over here broke like all of us, hustling, trying to rush the car and all that. But shit changes. So you have to learn how to distance. And even though I still got, homies from the neighborhood I talk to, I still associate with, we still link up and all that. But you have to learn how to transition yourself from that. You feel me?
First of all, I see you got that plaque right behind you, that Menace to Society plaque. Right behind you. That's something that we both share. God damn it, I wish I could swing it to this wall over here. Hang on.
Yes, indeed.
Menace to Society. Now, first of all, I just want to let the record reflect that I was listening to MC Eiht and Compton's Most Wanted prior to you doing Menace to Society and having that kind of success. So in my mind, you know, because a lot of times I'll do this. I'll notice somebody, I'll start fucking with them, and then they fucking start blowing the fuck up. You know what I mean? So in my mind, I'm kind of like, up there I go again. Like, you know what I mean? Like putting my attention on somebody and noticing that, yeah, they got some shit, and then the world catches up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I felt like that's kind of what happened with you. You know what I mean? Because these niggas don't know about you can get the duck sick and shit like that. They don't know about the duck sick. Man, okay, funny story. This is before Menace to Society. What was the album before that you put out?
Straight Checking Them, or Music to Drive By.
Music to Drive By. I believe it was Music to Drive By. So, you know, I'm the oldest of three brothers, and you're always gonna have a certain influence on your younger brothers or whatever.
Right.
So at the time, I'm listening to a lot of West Coast hip hop.
Right.
When East Coast niggas is not really fucking with it like that. They're not really knowing about West Coast dudes like this, but I am. Like, you know what I mean? And not only am I listening to it, like I'm fucking with these dudes. Like when they come to New York, they fucking with me. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they didn't know, no niggas didn't know nobody else in New York. You ask a nigga like Pimp C, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Pimp C, Bun B, they come to New York, they fucking with Lord J. My man Spice One. He coming to New York, and I know you did some shit with Spice One.
Yeah, that's my people.
Exactly. Fucking Chico. Fucking when he came to New York, he coming to my crib. You know what I mean? Be real and them. You know what I mean? They come to New York, they was fucking with us. So I used to fuck with a lot of West Coast music. So I'm fucking with Compton's Most Wanted real hard, and it's rubbing off on my brothers and shit like that, right? So I remember my brother Wise. He might be listening to this right now. My brother Wise, who's right under me, right? We in the studio. Now, in the studio, in the lounge room or whatever, Sadat was in there. He was in there with some of his people, but the model nigga Tyson Beckford was in there with him.
Okay.
Right? Now, Tyson Beckford, he was blowing up at this time. He wasn't super, super big yet, but he was getting big at this time.
Right.
So he's in there, a few people's in there. So my brother, actually it was both of my brothers, but they come in there and they had a few dudes with them. They seemed a little drunk and you know what I mean, or whatever. So they came in there, they chilling, they leave. And then all of a sudden my brother Wise comes back and he's like, yo, can't find my Compton's Most Wanted tape. And so niggas is like, you know, all right, like, you know what I mean? Like, and so my brother's like, nah, fuck that. One of y'all niggas got the tape. Now, keep in mind, I feel like we was the only ones that was really fucking with West Coast music like that.
Right.
I really don't believe that anybody in there was trying to necessarily steal, you know, my brother. They know who he was, but you know, he was a little sauced up, but this is what he's believing in his mind, that niggas try to jack him for his tape. So this motherfucker, and it's all, I mean, some people might be mad that I'm even telling this story, but fuck it, it is what it is. It happened. This motherfucker made niggas in the room rabbit ear their pockets.
Like, yeah, nigga, pull them out.
to prove this is how gangster the fucking the cops most wanted tape had him feeling, I guess, that he had niggas rabbit ear in their pockets to prove that they didn't have the
tape. He like, fuck that shit.
I want my I'm not going nowhere without my MC Eiht tape.
It's gonna be a terrible night if niggas don't come up off the tape.
Night. And if I and you better not pull it out your pocket.
Oh yeah, don't pull it. You might as well just keep it tucked if you got it.
So long story short, but it was fun. And so I had to come in there like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Like niggas are standing there with their pockets.
He was serious about that. He was serious about that heat, man. He's like, he was serious about that real heat.
Like, ain't nobody got your fucking tape, man. Fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all niggas put your pockets away. Like,
yeah, he's serious. Fuck that shit, man. No, you ain't getting away with my shit. That's right. Shout out Wise, man.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love that you said that right there. You're gonna love that you said that. And listen, you know, I think, you know, a lot of it was out of respect too. They know that's my brother. Ain't nobody was gonna try to beat up my drunk.
Exactly. Definitely.
Shit. So, you know, if niggas did rabbit ear their shit, it was just out of respect. It's not that he was so.
Yeah, like we just gonna show you, my.
It was a funny moment. Shit.
Yeah, definitely.
A funny moment, and your tape was the impetus of that. And
yes,
so I'm saying, you had niggas doing
that's true appreciation right there.
Yeah, man. Over your music.
Yes, indeed.
On the fucking East Coast. And that happened in Chung King Studios, actually, is where that happened, in Chung King Studios. Great times. So tell me about Menace to Society. Like, how did you get involved with that? I'm pretty sure as you had didn't you have a record on Boys in the Hood?
I had basically shit. I had Growing Up in the Hood off the Boys in the Hood soundtrack.
Right.
Then I had a song on the New Jersey Drive soundtrack as well. So I was just working, man, you know, on the road. I was actually on the road
back then. Like, to be on a soundtrack was big.
Yes, you was on soundtracks, man. I've done about 5 or 6 soundtracks, man. I was killing soundtracks back then. But Boys in the Hood was successful, the movie, you know. Juice was successful, you know. A lot of these directors were leaning towards hip hop as actors because hip hop was making a lot of noise at the time. So they just figured like the Hughes brothers was finna put together this movie. I wasn't into no movies, acting, none of that shit. You know, I was just glad to be putting out records, man. Right. And they happened to contact my manager and said they wanted me to come in to read for a part. Now, I'm already looking at myself as not one of those dudes. You get me? I'm putting in my work for hip hop, but I'm feeling like I'm on the back. Niggas ain't recognizing no MC Eiht, you know, for no shit like that. I'm doing my records. I'm in my lane. I'm cool. So they wanted me to come read. I'm like, man, I was on the road. So I flew back, went to read for the Hughes brothers, you know, gave me a script. And when they told me who else was reading, MC Ren, I said, what the fuck y'all got me here for then? You get me? Like, y'all got me here and y'all got Ren? I mean, that's NWA. Come on, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm Compton's Most Wanted, but that's MC Ren, NWA. They made the law. These niggas got,
God damn it.
Man, these niggas got platinum records and shit and been all over the world, man. I'm just a nigga. I'm the underground hero. You not finna, you know, so, but I read and went back out on the road, and 2 weeks later, the motherfuckers called me back. And I was like, he was like, they want to see you again. I'm like, what the fuck for? I'm like, they need to quit wasting my fucking time. You know what I'm saying? I'm on tour. Y'all fucking up my money. Got me flying back. So I flew back. I read again, some more shit, and went back on the road. Didn't even think about this shit. And a week later, when I was out on the road, my manager called me and told me to pack it up because I got the part and they needed me to come back. And I'm like, you full of shit. And I got back to LA, and for the next 3 months, man, we were shooting and having reads and all that type of shit. So that's how I
Wow.
got the part to Minister Society.
Wow. Wow. That's great. So
I
damn.
mean, the Hughes brothers were, they were fans. They knew about my records. They knew about my videos. So to see me and have me come in, and I could hold myself amongst the other actors, like Jada and Tyron and Lorenz, and I could hold my own, and I could ad lib, and I could put in my own little shit, because let's face it, this was a movie about the block and shit, and this was something I had done all my motherfucking days. You get me? I was just on the block before I came up here. Because, like I said, up until I did Menace and motherfucking, I was still hanging in the neighborhood every day.
Right.
So, y'all want me to talk about the police coming through and shooting niggas and shit like, man, I've been
Like I was
seeing that
just
shit for
talking
the
about
last
this.
15, 20 years. So, I got to, even though it was shit in the script, I got to be able to do my own shit, because I could just go to them and be like, man, ain't no nigga doing this shit in the neighborhood. Ain't no nigga doing this shit. And then I was able to add my own flavor, and even with the dress and shit, like, niggas ain't wearing that, and niggas ain't wearing that, and niggas ain't wearing that. So, because like I said, I was a nigga still wearing khaki suits and t-shirts and 501s in the neighborhood. So, nigga, I'm coming to work already dressed. Like, shit, I put this on this morning when I left the crib. There's no need for you to send me the wardrobe, because this is how we dress right here. So I
Right.
was able to bring a lot of that to the table for my character, so to speak.
Now, when I think about it, what was your character's name?
AWACS.
AWACS. That's right. Because I feel like for a lot of us, when we looked at that movie, we felt like we was looking at MC Eiht. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like we know O Dog is a character, because we know that
Right.
Lorenz Tate is not O Dog. You know what I
You knew he
mean?
was an actor. You knew he
Right,
was an actor. So
right. But for a lot of us, I don't think, because I thought about that earlier. I was like, hang on, what was his character's name? Because, and now that you say that, yeah, I remember that name, but I feel like most of us walked away with it thinking MC Eiht. We weren't thinking
right.
AWAC. We're thinking
I mean, I was just being
that was
myself.
MC Eiht. Like, and I think that's kind of what you're saying. Like, you just came up there and was doing you. And I
I
think
was just
that's what
being
kind of
myself,
came off.
or it was not like like maybe Lorenz or Tyron had to do, learn the
Yeah.
character and get in the mode and shit,
They even had to, I'm sure, maybe adjust accents and all of that. It's
exactly.
been hard.
You know,
You know what I
it's
mean?
just,
Like,
you got to break, because a dude who's acting and been on TV and been on shit that's totally diverse from what that shit was. He
right,
got to get in. He got to get in the character for that. That ain't
right,
something that you can just wake up and like turn into. Yeah, I'm a nigga who be shooting niggas and killing niggas, and I rep the hood. And no, like, that's something you could. That's born and bred shit. So, like I said, for my character, it was simplicity to me, because shit, nigga, we was doing this shit yesterday. Or when I pulled up from over here and left the movie set, nigga, I went straight to the neighborhood. Niggas was shooting dice, and the police jacked us, and it wasn't nothing different happening for me. Like I said, because I was still with that mind state of, I'm still from the hood. So that's what made that shit so easy to me, seeing the lines and people like, man, how did you memorize all that shit? And how did you, I'm like, because a lot of that shit I just did on my own.
right. Well, you did an excellent fucking job.
Good looking.
I felt like You know, like some rappers, like maybe we were gonna see you more in films and stuff after that. You know what I mean?
I'm sure people did, but nothing ever came out. Now shit came my way,
Right.
but I'm not finna be nobody's comic nigga relief. You get me?
Right.
A lot of the parts that were coming were on some joking ass, bullshit ass, funny ass, and that's not me. Because first of all, I wasn't trying to chase no acting career. I
Right.
did Menace to Society because I felt it was a movie that was depicting what was going on in the neighborhoods every day. Because it was something that I was living. But when it come down to, do you want to play this type of motherfucker, and it's all jokes and laughs and comedy shit, man, nah, I'm cool. I'm not finna motherfucking fuck with my integrity of who I am for a check. You get me? Some people do. Some people feel like fuck it, it's a payday. But I feel like remaining true to myself and the motherfucking people who put me in the position to be where I am today, which is true fans and true motherfuckers who got my back. Uh, my integrity mean a lot, and I don't sell that shit for no check. Fuck it. That's why I'm who the nigga I am today. And you don't see me flip side into some other shit just because there's bread on the table. Because like I tell motherfuckers, all bread ain't good bread.
Facts. What sign are you?
Gemini.
Gemini. Okay. Um, that Menace to Society soundtrack, man. Was that a hell of a fucking soundtrack?
Oh no, I bang that motherfucker to this day.
Like to this day, like that shit was crazy. Like I
Yeah, that got to
feel
be one of the best, in that type of era and that type of music. It's got to be one of the best soundtracks that was put out there, man.
definitely was. I feel so privileged to have been a part of it. Um, that introduced me to UGK. I never
Uh-huh.
heard UGK. And then when I heard Pocket Full of Stones,
Yeah, that was the jam right there, man.
no, Pocket Full of Stones was my shit. Pistol grip pump in my lap at all time. Like,
Yeah,
yo,
it was some killer shit on there. Spice had dumping them in ditches, and I had
what?
straight up menace. Y'all had a
Oh,
cut.
mm,
Motherfucking key all over a hole was on that motherfucker, man. That soundtrack was banging.
I think Pete and CL had something on there too. Like,
Hmm.
yo,
Hmm.
that shit was
That was an
no,
all-star soundtrack right there.
that was an all-star soundtrack, and I'm fucking wow. Big up to who put that out? Jive, yeah, Jive,
Jive, yeah, Jive
yeah.
record, yeah.
Up to Jive, they did a fucking hell of a job on that one. So let's fast forward because now, when you tell me about your influences, your early influences being, a lot of all you listened to really was a lot of East Coast hip hop. Um, to me now it makes sense for you to maybe hook up with someone like DJ Premier.
Right.
Tell me about that. How did that come to be? And tell me about that experience. Let
Like
me
I
help you
said, man,
one.
I was always fans of East Coast hip hop. A lot of people don't know Primo's from Texas,
Yeah, I was gonna say, even though he's from Texas. Uh-huh.
but his foundation and roots from hip hop is from New York. Um, and I've been knowing Primo since before, rest in peace Guru. I've been knowing them since, man. My first ever hip hop concert was with Gangstar.
Mm.
Uh, it was in
Wait, the hip hop concert that you've performed at,
my
or that
very first time ever being on a big stage with a crowd and people paying tickets and it being promoted on the radio, and you
right.
got posters on the poles, you know how they do, whatever.
Mhm.
That was with Low Profile, which was WC and DJ Aladdin,
Wow.
Above the Law,
Oh, that's my
Compton.
guy. Shout out to motherfucker
Yeah,
187. He been on the show.
yeah, my people. So it was Low Profile, Above the Law, Compton's Most Wanted, and Gangstar.
Mm,
That was, and I met Primo that night, and we've been friends ever since. And that had to be like 1990, 91. And we've been friends ever since. And how we just became solid is, like I said back then in our days, the companies used to send us on promotional tours where we would hit the country and we would hit all these different states and, do radio and in stores and all that type of shit. And we used to always bump into Primo and them on the road. If I was in Chicago, they was in Chicago. If I was in Atlanta, they was in Atlanta. If I was
mm,
in Texas, they was in Texas. So just from doing that, and when I started flying to New York, label, because Epic Sony was based out of New York.
right.
So whenever it was time to re-up or renegotiate or do a new song or single or whatever, I had to go to New York. Thus, I knew Primo. You get me? So like you said, how you was and niggas was coming to your crib and
Hmm.
that was Primo for me. I could
Right.
call Primo from the airport. Hey, I just landed.
Right. He
I'm
come get you
staying at
all of
so
that.
and so.
Need some
Primo be
weed,
already
whatever.
he already downstairs in the lobby while I when I pull up. You get me? And we
Hmm.
jump in the MPV van and we go to his crib. And that's I'm hanging out with him. I'm meeting. I met a young Nas. Met Tretch, Buster.
Grand Poobah just told me to tell you what's up.
Tell my peoples I said what's cracking.
Yeah.
I,
No
I,
doubt.
I just met a lot of people through Primo, and we always stay just not even on no like rap shit, man. Like I call Primo right now, "What's up, my dude?" And we talking about sports and the kids, and so he's one person that I have met in this hip hop roller coaster that has been very significant as just a straight up homie. You get me? So that's my relationship with Primo, man. He's beyond just a motherfucker I know. You get me?
Right. So what? So y'all knew each other for all this time, and then who was the one that said, you know what? We should do some shit together.
Primo, as you know, works on a gang of shit. Um, I think at the time he was working on a Black Poet shit. He had did a project with Black Poet, and they was getting ready to do a remix, and he called me to get on the remix. So um, they flew out here. We did the remix. I think I flew to New York because they was performing. They brought me out for a performance. And from there, I had already been in the studio. I took like about a 4 year hiatus. I hadn't been rapping, nothing. Like I said, I started coaching football.
Mm,
My son is 16 right now. He a sophomore quarterback.
nice.
So since he turned 5, I started coaching, football. So that was my focus at the time. I wasn't even tripping off of putting out a record. I was still going on tour. I had just finished like 2 European tours, one Japan and one in Europe. So it wasn't money or nothing like that. I was set. I was cool just sitting at home coaching football. But I had the studio available at the crib. So I get bored and I go in there and put a song down. And then the next day I do 2 more songs. And then I hooked up with this new producer. So the more beats he produced, I just go in the studio and make demos. Fuck it. Next thing you know, I looked up and I had about 50 songs done. So I sent them to Primo, and Primo picked about 20 songs and said we should put these motherfuckers out.
Mm,
And that's how Which Way Is West came about.
dope.
You
Dope.
know, when you hear motherfuckers say these songs need to be out, I said, man, do what you gonna do, Primo. And he did what he did.
That's what's
So
up.
Primo, like I said, he's more than just a hip hop nigga to me. He's somebody that's significant. Appreciate what I've done for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And just on the whim, man, just a homie. You get me? He didn't even have to do that. Like I said, Primo's to me, he's in that Dr. Dre category. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So for him to take the time out and want to fuck with me on a project, man, I was like, man, please, hell yeah, say no more.
Well, I just thought it was dope that a MC like yourself would get on those type of beats. You know what I mean?
Man, I fuck with East Coast niggas. I
Yeah.
mean, I fuck with Pete Rock. You get me? That's my nigga. Pete Rock, me and Pete Rock trying to collaborate on some shit. I got down on the on his Soul Survivor record on One Life to Live.
Mm.
Um, I fuck with East Coast shit, man, all day. And
That's
I feel like as an artist myself, I grew up on a lot of East Coast shit. So that gives me that diverse shit to where I can fuck with West Coast shit. But then if one of my peoples from the East hit me with one of them East Coast classics, it's nothing for me because I study that shit. And when you're a true artist, you should be able to bust on anything.
that's what's up. I remember like when I first heard like Compton's Most Wanted, definitely it wasn't just your voice and the Gia and the it was the production as well. Like
Yeah.
your beat selection and just the whole landscape that was being painted. Tell me about that a little bit. About the how did you pick your beats and all of that type of shit, or did the
I'm a
producer just have
storyteller.
a bunch just beats and you just liked his
I'm a
shit?
storytelling motherfucker. So when I put together a project, I don't think about, I don't know, like some motherfuckers be like, let me think of something that's gonna get you jamming and partying. Let me think of something that's gonna make the radio. When I listen to music, I be thinking like shit that's gonna be very descriptive to motherfuckers. I want it like you sitting in that motherfucking movie theater and that sound come on and that soundtrack and you watching the different scenes and the movie and the music is hitting and it's making you suspenseful and what's gonna happen next. That's what I think of when I create my music. I
Hmm.
want your motherfucking ass to be in suspense. I don't want you to just be there like, hey, I want your motherfucking ass to be sitting there listening like, damn. So that was my thing. You get me? My thing was storytelling, and I wanted my music to match my storytelling. And I always looked at it like you watching the soundtrack to a movie, something sinister, something cold, you know. Everything ain't motherfucking bells and whistles, and everybody's not having a party and popping champagne, and everybody don't have on diamonds and gold glistening. This niggas struggling out here for real. So I want you to listen to that. So that's how I'm very particular about the music I pick. It's got to be something that's going to make you think like, damn, I can vision what this nigga is saying because of the music is going through my head right now. And it's making me really think about it.
So I was looking through your bio, and there was a point where y'all confronted my man, rest in peace, fucking Tim Dog, um,
Mm,
with the fuck Compton shit.
right.
Um, can you tell us about that story?
Um, I think we was at one of the conventions or something because if a lot of people didn't know, he was signed to Sony as well.
Right,
So a lot of places we were, they sent him, especially when that, like I said, that promo Jack the Rapper convention circuit was heading around. And
right.
we used to go to all these conventions. So it was at the time I think the song came out. We had just dropped Music to Drive By.
Mm,
And I know what it was about. You get me? Like a lot of people might have thought it was on some real, oh, it's gonna go down and whatever, whatever. But I understand niggas want to generate noise. They want to make noise for themselves. I'm trying to come into the hip hop game. What's the best thing I can do? Oh, let me say fuck the hottest motherfuckers right now because that's gonna
Right,
generate noise. So I
right,
get that part of the game. But sometimes when you do that type of shit, you should direct the slug at where you want it to hit. Because
right.
if you just blindly just shooting, then anybody gonna catch the slug, and that's not gonna happen. And that's
Yeah.
what kind
Could
of
blanket
happened.
the Compton shit instead of saying fuck Dr. Dre or fuck
Exactly. You
NWA.
could have said fuck NWA,
Right,
fuck NWA.
right.
But then when you saying fuck Compton in the whole, now you got every other artist who representing this city who feels like I gotta take it upon myself to address the situation.
Right,
Now,
and your
instead
group name is Compton's Most Wanted.
exactly. So when you saying fuck Compton and
Right,
I'm from
who
Compton, I'm
fuck you trying
representing
to
the
say,
neighborhood.
fuck?
Fuck the
Yeah,
record shit. It is fuck the record shit, nigga.
right.
I
And you're a
bang
young
from the
gang
city.
banger, that's what I'm saying. You a
Nigga, I'm
young
a
gang ass
gangbanger from the
nigga.
city of Compton, nigga. And you ain't gonna just that's like saying fuck my neighborhood or something. So you take it personal. So
Right.
we ran into him at one of the conventions and we addressed him on what did you mean? Are you trying to say fuck us in a whole? And he addressed that no, I'm doing it because of what, like I said, it was.
D
And
Barnes and all that shit, right?
all that shit and his situations was with NWA and with them, and it wasn't no beef with us and whatever. And that's why it never went any further than that as far as CMW is concerned.
Right, but you ended up writing a
We
diss
did a song
track,
called
right?
Who's Fucking Who, and
Because
we did him. Yeah,
apparently he wanted to do um some shit that I feel like, and yes, rest in peace, Tim Dog, but we got to tell the truth. Apparently he approached y'all about um did he say something to the effect of tell West Coast rappers we should do like a Roxanne, Shantae, keep
yeah,
the
like go back.
going
Yeah,
and
like we
yeah,
should, because like I said, in his eyes, he's looking at it like a monetary thing. Like
right.
we can come up off this shit. Y'all diss me, we
I'll
diss
get you
y'all.
back,
But
right.
I had to explain to my nigga that niggas don't give a fuck about that. It's the whole aspect of you saying that coming from somewhere that don't understand about what's going on in the city will make that not work. So like I said, his vision is totally from the monetary side and hip hop. Let's make some money. We can turn this into a whole series, blah, blah, blah. But when you coming from where you come from, and like I said, I came from Compton, I had to walk them blocks, represent them streets or whatever. There's just some things that you just cannot do.
You know what I just came to my mind as we talk about this? Tell me if I could be right or left on this, but so that Tim Dog shit feels like that was the first tension between East Coast and West Coast. Like that was the
Um,
first time that there was a real tension where it was like, whoa, like this guy's saying fuck Compton, and the same way that you're saying, yo, is it spraying towards everybody? Some of us was thinking, I hope the West Coast is not thinking we're all feeling like what the fuck Compton. Like that's his record,
exactly.
Dog's record. Like, I hope this is not a blanket in the reverse where now, because we got to go out there and do shows and shit like that. Like, I fucks with niggas from the West Coast. Like, I hope
Right.
they not feeling a way about New York niggas now. You understand? There was that kind of feeling, but that shit died away. So now I'm thinking, when the Biggie and Tupac shit came back, right? When that shit popped up, was there still an underlying current from the fuck Compton? Was there still an underlying energy from the fuck Compton that resurfaced? Do you see what I'm saying? Or am I
Yeah, I
bugging
see
you?
what you're saying. I don't think it was because when it came to the fuck Compton thing, we didn't feel that that was even really, we dealt with that Tim Dog situation like it was buried before it even started
Right.
because
It was
first of
buried,
all,
but it
it was
scratched.
very big because first of all, he wasn't as a lyrical prowess as
No, he
you know
wasn't.
what I'm saying. So that's what first got him canceled because
Oh, and we was cool with Tim Dog. Like we would see him around. It was almost funny to him. Like that's what I'm
so
saying.
we
Yeah,
didn't we
he be
didn't take it
laughing
like
about this
that.
shit.
All right, kid, hold up. That's talking to my son. Got to get to practice in a minute.
No doubt. I'm not gonna keep you much longer.
So yeah, we didn't look at Tim Dog as a lyrical prowess like that, as far as like it was with Biggie and the Pac situation. Um, so I don't think it was any underlying thing with New York because even when that situation happened, I mean, what happened, I still didn't look at it as a personal aim when that situation transpired. I never looked at it because I've had too many motherfucking homies from the East Coast. So
Right.
I,
Again, I just feel like even though the shit with Tim Dog died down, it raised a certain tension between the East Coast.
it
Right.
did
And
because
then it died down, but then I
it
feel like
died down
that
because I don't.
tension
It wasn't
was
like I don't think it was a whole West Coast. It was fuck Compton. So you had niggas in Compton who felt like whatever, but it wasn't like as people felt like with motherfucking Tupac or be like, nigga, you representing New York. You
I
get
just
me?
feel like the seeds might have been planted.
Yeah.
Some bullshit right there.
We didn't really, like I said, I don't know. I guess it because who Tim Dog was and who we looked at who Tim Dog was, he really didn't, niggas from Compton felt like, okay, they did something, Eight said something, a couple of niggas addressed it, and because he wasn't able to, his lyrical ability wasn't able to address after, he wasn't looked at as a threat anymore. But when you came to the other situation, I don't know. I think it just because at that time it was a different time. Niggas was having money and everybody was on their own high horse or whatever. So, at then hip hop was new. It was fresh for us. So a lot of dudes had beefs back then that we didn't, we looked at it as it was common shit. LL and I mean Kumo D and LL and Tim Dog and MWA and it was like hip hop shit to us. We didn't take it as personal as it was with that situation that happened with Pac and Biggie, I guess. I didn't take it personal at all because it didn't affect me in any way. I still
Right.
travel to the East Coast. I'm still remain true to the niggas I'm with today and that I met back then. Never had an issue with a motherfucker from the East Coast. I grew up on East Coast shit. I respect it too much. You feel me?
Facts, facts, facts. Um, so I know you gotta go. You said you gotta do
Yeah,
the
my
football.
son weightlifting. They training right now. Like I said, he's
Wow.
16. He's a quarterback. He's a varsity starting quarterback. So
Nice.
he's really on his football shit right now.
What made you qualified to be other than being a loving father? What made you qualified to be a football coach?
Um, I played football all through my youth.
What position did you play?
I played running back and then I played defensive end.
Nice.
Um, I played all the way up until I got to high school until rap caught me. You get me? Until
Mhm.
gangbang and rap caught me.
Mm.
Having a son, I wanted him to get into something different than hip hop and video games and whatever. So when he was 3, I started putting him in whatever I could put him in at that age. He
Mm.
played soccer, he played t-ball, he
Mm.
played basketball. And then once he was old enough to put on a helmet and shoulder pads, which was 7, I put him in tackle football and the rest is history. He
Mm.
played, I mean, he's a quarterback. Um, he has fun with it. It distracted him from, I could say he's never been in trouble with the police. He don't claim no gang, and he ain't got no girl pregnant. You feel me? So
Nice.
I'm trying to do something right
Shut
other
up.
than what I did. You feel me?
Right. So do you only coach his teams?
I coached his team up until he started high school. I took a year off, and then last year, right before COVID hit, I started back coaching 12-year-olds. So
Ah,
I'm returning again this year to coach 13
to,
and 14 year
now,
olds.
but other people's children and not
Yeah,
your.
not my own. I have no kid involved on the team.
Right.
You know, I'm just a coach, man.
Right.
I hook up with Primo. Shout out my man Primo again. He hooks us up with Adidas every year. They donate cleats to the team. So I outfit the whole team with brand new Adidas cleats, So just my way of trying to give back to kids who, fathers can't participate, fathers not present, they're not at practices, you never see them at games. So that's what my thing is. I just try to give back to some of those kids because it can change their pathway.
See, you're a better man than me because when I remember back in the days when my son was playing like on a softball team or something. I think he was in like 5th grade or some shit like that. So I volunteered to coach on the fucking, on the fucking team and shit. I used to play fucking baseball, football, all that type of shit. But anyway, but when he stopped playing, I stopped coaching.
Right. I mean, I stopped.
Somebody else's kids, god damn it.
Yeah, you get
really
frustrated, be like, I'm not gonna fuck with nobody else's kids, but I
I'm
think
only
just
here
the
for mine.
yeah, just that's it. But I think this the knowledge that I have learned over the last 15 years of coaching,
Right.
I know some shit. I can call an offense, I can call a defense. So
Mm.
it make me feel good when I'm able to work with some kids that able to follow instructions, learn some shit they appreciate, and once they know who I am and see what I'm giving up to be out there with them, like I said, I could be on tour somewhere in the studio doing whatever, but I'm out here with y'all because one thing I like coaching and I like mentoring kids on the fact that you can be something positive. You ain't got to be no rapper or no producer or nothing else. You know what I'm saying? You can just have a good foundation, go to school, good grades, and you can turn out to be just as positive.
Now, let me real quick. So, do you feel like does your coaching skill translate over into, let's say, Madden?
I could play a little Madden.
Okay.
I could play a
Can you
little Madden.
strategize somebody on Madden and bust their ass?
I can whoop some asses on Madden.
Hmm.
I've played. I used to play MC Ren when we used to stay close to each other. Me and
Okay.
Ren used to compete in Madden all the time, and Ren can tell you I got some stick skills.
Red can tell you.
I
You was
got some
busting
stick
his ass.
skills. I got
Okay.
some stick skills
That's what's up. That's what's
for
up.
sure.
I ain't gonna hold you much longer. I appreciate you sitting and
Man,
talking
good luck,
with us,
man.
man.
Thanks for having me, man. I
This
appreciate
was
it.
definitely legendary. Real quick, why do you spell your name without the G?
Because it's experienced in hardcore thumping. It's experienced in hood tales. It's an acronym I came up with back then. So that's what MC8 means. Experienced in hood tales.
Hmm. Y'all heard it here on the Godcast. All right, well, anything you want to shout out before you
Man,
get out here?
the new album Lessons is out right now, man. Go peep that out. Nice songs, nice collaborations. Um, Peep me out on the Gangster Chronicles podcast every Thursday, man. You can check us out. That's me, my man James, and Big Steel. The podcast is doing real good. So, man, check us out there. Once again, that's the Gangster Chronicles podcast.
And
And
where will you find it at? Where will we find that at?
anywhere you get your podcast needs, man.
Copy.
We kind of doing the thing right now. It's a good thing. It's good elements. Like I said, we don't try to interview motherfuckers. We just try to have good conversations with motherfuckers who have, been through the struggles of life, come from that lifestyle, and have transitioned over, doing things to help the kids out, writing books, starting programs. So tune in. Gangster Chronicles podcast.
That's what's up. Yo,
For sure.
I appreciate you, my brother. Ladies
Man,
and gentlemen.
anytime, man. Holla at me.
MC Eiht. Yes, I want to send you some beats too. I'm gonna send you my math and all that.
You got the email and yeah, send me your map. Take me up.
Definitely. Yo.
Okay, man, you stay up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
MC Eiht, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, that was a great one. That was a great one. Shout out to the God, MC Eiht. Gia. And I thank y'all for coming through. As usual, like we always do at this time, I go for mine. Yes, that was great. Go follow the brother on Instagram. I believe it's 808 on Instagram. And yeah, that was a great one. Pardon me. About to get out of here. What's today? Wednesday? Maybe we'll do one tomorrow. We got to see what's up. I'll let y'all know. You will get, if you're following, if you're subscribed, and you click that notification bell, then you will get a alert letting you know that we got it popping. If you'd like to watch this interview in its entirety immediately after this, it will be up on our Patreon. I encourage you to become a patron. If you want to get some of this Godcast gear, hang on, see the goddamn banners in the way. Oh, you see that? Yeah, you see the Godcast hoodie. You see the brand Nubian camel hat, camouflage hit at. Well, then you go to www.hoodg.com. All right, we'll take care of you. Shout out to my man Marco. And once again, subscribe. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all, and we will be back with more. Once again, for You're Not a Mean Godcast, I am Lord Jamar. Shout out to my co-hosts, Rod Digger and Godfrey. And I say, peace.